So this is part one of why the fuck did I stay? So this all started during COVID of May of 2020. I had this little boy on Facebook I have never seen. And he hit me up. He was in my inbox. He was telling me about he wanted to see me. And he told me to slide on me. He'd send me his address. I went to go see him. Mind you, I picked him up from his mama's house. And I'm asking him, I'm like, so you stay with your mama? He's telling me this is temporary. I ain't gonna be here for too long. I'm ready to get my car. I'm ready to move out. I got a trust fund that I'm ready to get in 2 months when I turn 21. Cool. This is nice. We gets to my house. He gets in my house. He's just ecstatic of everything that I have. Like, he's just fascinated. So I'm like, okay, this is red flag. Like, you act like you ain't never even had anything. I'm like, okay, it's cute. Whatever. At this point, I'm trying to figure out, like, what's up? Like, he's telling me, oh, I like dudes. I done been with plenty of dudes. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling you. Like, I like you. Whatever the case be. So I'm like, all right. One thing led to another. We goes ahead and hooks up. Cool. It was nice. So I'm like, okay, it's time for you to go home. Let's get you home. Let's get you back to your mom's house. Gets him back to the mama's house. He come text me probably about an hour later. He done got on my Instagram. He's looking at like all of my everything I got going on. He done seen our motto. I got a clothing line. He was like, you know, that's dope what you got. And I'm a rapper. So I'm like, oh, so you rap. I was like, let me get the credentials. Let me get on your page, see what you got going on. Gets on the page. He's got 300 followers. Mind you, I wasn't even too much worried about the followers now. He done posted, he's got a girlfriend. He's got this little girl, and him and the girl posted all in every picture. So I'm like, this is crazy. Like, we just fucked and you got a girlfriend. Like, what's going on? He's telling me, oh no, she's just a cover up. You know what I'm saying? I got this record label looking at me. I told you I'm a rapper. And you know, they're trying to, I got to keep up the image if I want them to sign me. Cool. Didn't think too much of it. Next day he hits me up. He was like, do me a favor. Come take me to work. I'm like, all right, whatever you want. You can get whatever you like. You know, he gives me the address. We pulls up to the job. We pulls up to the gas station. It's Thornton's. I'm like, so you work at Thornton's? Like, no judgment zone here. He was like, nah, his people own the Thornton's, and he's just coming to help out. I was like, okay, cool. He's at work. He called me right back and was like, hey, I need you to do me another favor. He was like, give me $300. I'm trying to get this new iPhone. He was like, and I get my check. I'm gonna pay you right back. I'm like, all right, I got it. I'll give you the $300. Gives it to him. Next day he goes and gets the iPhone. Day after that he pays me back. Cool. So calls me again the next day. He was like, can you come and get me from the studio? Comes and pick him up from the studio. Pause. The nigga's a whole different nigga from the nigga that I just met a week ago. He's got new clothes, new shoes, fresh to death, jewelry and everything. I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, what's up? He was like, oh, I just got signed. You know what I'm saying? They gave me all this money, got this advancement, blase, blase, blase. I'm like, this is dope. Like, tell me more about it. He was like, he couldn't tell me too much because he just signed an NDA. Cool. Didn't think too much of it. He was like, plus, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go to this house party later on to celebrate with my friends. I'm like, cool. So he was like, drop me out so I can go get ready, come back to get me. I said, okay. I goes home, go gets ready. I picks him back up. We headed to the house party. We drives all the way to the house party. As soon as we get there, he was like, hold on. Like, the girl that's hosting it, she said she don't know you and she don't feel comfortable with letting strangers in the house. Cool. I'm not really tripping. Like, I can go back home. Like, I'm good. He was like, come pick me up later on because I got to be at work at 7 a.m. I was like, okay, cool. Later on came. He come text me and he was like, I think I'm going to stay tonight. I'm having a good time. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really ready to go home. Cool. I'll see you in the morning. 7 a.m. came around. I'm calling the phone. I'm like, you know, what's up? Where you at? He's not answering. Taking the phone, blowing the phone up. Like, where are you at? He's not answering. I'm beating on the door of where the address that he sent me. Nobody's answering. I happen to peek through the window. No signs, no party. Nobody's in there. So I'm like, all right, so I'm walking back to the car. Here he comes. He's coming out the house. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. He looks a mess. Like, you can tell he been drinking. He's hungover. So he gets in the car. I'm like, so what happened? Like, where's everybody at? He was like that nobody ended up coming to the party. It was just him. I said, so if it was just you and nobody came to the party, why didn't you have me come back and get you last night? He was like, oh, I was having a good time. You know, I didn't really want to leave. You know, my friend made me stay. You know, she was having me drink. I had never drunk before. So I'm like, so you was chilling with the little girl or whatever. So I didn't, you know, I'm like, all right. He was telling me that, you know, she had got him drunk and he was, you know, didn't want to drink and she was trying to come on to him. So I'm like, that's weird. Like, why is she coming on to you? Like, you're gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? And he was like, well, she knew that. And I kept trying to tell her no. So he's kind of like beating around the bush. I'm like, did you fuck this little girl? Like, let's keep it funky. So he was telling me no. So I was like, look, One thing I hate is a liar. Like, go ahead and keep it real with me. Like, if you fucked her, it's cool. Like, did you fuck her? So he was like, yeah, I fucked her. Bet. At this time, I'm just like, my whole mood is switched. I'm like, cool, I'm ready to take you home and get you on about your way, because I'm already like, I can't do this. Like, you just fuck somebody else. I only been knowing you for probably about a week. Like, and we've been rocking. Cool. Takes him home. Let me tell y'all what I did in part 2 of why the fuck did I stay. So, speed it up. I done went home and wrote up this letter basically saying, like, I don't want to be with you no more. I'm done. This is over. So he comes over back to my house, and I done gave him the letter to read. So he reads the letter, and he just starts crying. He was like, you know, I'm sorry. I want to work this out. Like, I love you. I really want to be with you. So I'm like, okay, like, well, if you love me, then why the fuck did you go cheat on me? So he's telling me, he was like, you know, I've been through a lot. And he's beginning telling me that, you know, he's really from California. He lived there with his mama and his daddy. His daddy was this big time drug dealer. The daddy got locked up. So the mama moved to Kentucky, where we live at now. And she remarried, had kids. And the husband that she married abused him, kicked him out the house. And he got tied up with some friends and got locked up. And he just got out last year. So I'm just like, okay, like, I guess, like, you know, I'm heartfelt about the situation. I'm like, well, if we do work this out, like, is there anything else you want to tell me? Like, don't lie to me. Like, I don't want no lies, no secrets, no nothing. So he was like, okay, well, I'm also not a rapper. I really didn't get signed. So I was like, well, how did you have all the money and the clothes? Like, when I seen you, like, what was this all about? He was telling me that the money that he had was fake. The clothes and the jewelry that he had on, he borrowed from somebody else. I'm like, okay, like, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, okay, well, we can still work this out. It's okay. You don't need to be no superstar to be with me. So, you know, time goes on. So later down the line, he's hit me up. He was like, can you take me to go look at this car? So I'm like, sure. We go look at the car. So 2018 BMW 7 Series, way over his head. He was like, I'm gonna get it. So I took his picture while he was test driving. So he done took the picture, posted it all on Facebook, told the whole world that he done bought this new car. So word gets back to the mama that he done got a new car. So she's trying to figure out what's going on. He done told the mama, like, he's like, yeah, I've been hanging out with my friend from work. So I'm just like, friend from work? Like, who the fuck? He was like, listen, my mama don't know that I'm gay. Play along with it. And this is what we're going to do. So I'm just like, okay, like, so we get to the mama's house. You know, I had to go along with this saying that I'm his friend from work. So she's asking me questions like, you know, you cute. You know what I'm saying? All this, blah, 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 blah. So I can already tell that she's suspicious. Like, this nigga, like, y'all got something more than going on. So I just was, whatever. We gets back to my house. She's calling, texting, calling, trying to figure out what we doing. So, I don't know. He was talking to her, and I think I walked in her. I had on my underwear, and I got on the phone. I don't even know if I was paying attention now, but I know I had my underwear on, and I got on the phone with her. So she was like, so what's the relationship between you and my son? I was like, that's my friend from work. I was like, then that's what he told her. She was like, well, you got a girlfriend? I was like, no. And she was like, well, you don't have no girlfriend because you got something going on with my son. Excuse me? And I'm like, I'm telling this lady, I'm like, no, I don't. Like, that's my friend. And we work together. She was like, listen, I'm not stupid. She said, plus you just walked in here with your underwear on. So I was like, fuck, call. So I was like, okay, listen. Yes, me and the son got something going on. We've been together all this time and blase, blase, blase. And she was like, okay, put my son back on the phone. He gets back on the phone. She was like, why didn't you tell me that this was your boyfriend? He's like, what? Loses it. He darts out the house. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? She was like, run after him, go get him because he's suicidal. So I'm trying to go get him. I'm like, what's wrong? Calm down. He's like, I'm gonna kill myself. My life is over. So he's jumping in front of cars. Like, I'm trying to calm him down. So she was like, just help him. So I don't got him. I don't got him back in the house trying to talk to him. All this is going on. This is way too much for me. So I was like, asking mom, I'm like, what do you want me to do? So she was like, you know, you really just need to be there for him. He just needs somebody like he apparently he loves you and, you know what I'm saying, be there for him and take care of him and don't leave. And I'm like, okay, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm talking to him, and at this point, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, and he was like, this is all your fault. I'm like, ain't that a bitch? So I'm gonna tell y'all what happened after he told me that in part 3. So this is part 3 of why the fuck did I stay? So recap, you know what I'm saying? The mama just found out that me and him is actually together and he's gay. And he done said that it's my fault. So I'm asking him, I'm like, how's it my fault? He was like, because you don't understand. Now that my mama found out that I'm gay, she's not going to accept me. My family's going to reject me. My daddy's going to find out, he's going to kick me out. And then I'm going to be homeless again. And I'm not going to have nowhere to live. I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying? You can come and stay here with me. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, we're working a relationship. Like, come and move in with me. He was like, okay, I got to go home and get my stuff. So we takes him back to the mama's house to get all his clothes. So we leave and he was like, well, I got to go up to my friend's house to get my other clothes. So we get to the friend's house and this pregnant girl walks out. And he was like, yeah, she's asking like who I am. And he was like, this is my cousin. I'm like, he's looking at me like I'm the cousin. So he's looking over like we can like go along with it. So she was laughing and they giggling or whatever the case be. He's like, I'm the cousin. I'm like, all right, I didn't think too much of it. I went along with it. So, you know, he gets the clothes. We're leaving. I'm like, who is this girl? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why'd you tell I'm your cousin? He was like, oh, that's my baby mama. She don't know I'm gay. Bitch, what the? Pause. Baby mama. Continue. So I'm like, what the fuck? What was you gonna tell me that you had a baby on the way, that you had a whole baby mama? He was like, oh, well, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal because I ain't with her. I ain't been with her. It's not a big deal. Whatever the case be. So 2 weeks later sped up and she's calling him, telling about she's in labor and come to the hospital. She's about to have the baby. All this. She's having the baby at this point. So I don't took him to the hospital. And he has a baby, you know, beautiful baby girl. So now, you know, he's telling me, he was like, well, I really want you to get to know my baby mama. I want to get everything straightened out so it ain't no confusion. I was like, okay, let's cool. Let's all go out to eat. So we goes out to eat and, you know, we sitting at the table talking. Mind you, the baby mama still don't know that me and him is together. You know what I'm saying? She does not know. So I'm, you know, he was like, hey, I want to share some news with you. She's like, okay. So he's telling her, he was like, this is really not my cousin. This is really my boyfriend. She looks like, what the fuck? Like, and I'm asking her, I'm like, are you, like, what's going on? Like, did you not know? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? She was like, no, because we was just together last month and he was telling me that we were going to be together. I'm ready to have the baby and we're going to all be a family. So, mind you, we're all just sitting at the table. Everybody's just stuck on stupid. Everybody lost their appetite. So I'm just like, bring me the check. I'm ready to go. I text the baby mama home. Then I get in the car with him. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, why is she saying that y'all together? Like, you lying again. He was like, no, she's just mad because I don't want to be with her. She's making all this stuff. I ain't never told her that I wanted to be with her. We ain't been together. I didn't even know she was pregnant. I'm just at this point, look at my eye. It's lies. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, I'm just like, I don't know what to do at this point. I was like, I can't do it. So, I'll tell you what I did in part 4. Go to part 4. So this is part 4 of why the fuck did I stay? So recap, you know, the baby mama just found out that me and him was together. And, you know, she's saying that he's saying that they was supposed to be together when she had the baby. So I'm confronting him about it. I'm like, what's up? Like, why is she saying all this? He was like, she's making this shit up. You know, she's just mad because I don't want to be with her and she's having my baby. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, at this point, I'm confused because you really been out here fucking these little girls and you talking about that you gay and you want to be with a man. So I'm like, what's up? He was like, well, you know, I don't really want to be with a woman. I just like the way that, you know, it feels, you know, when I have sex with them. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, at this point, I ain't never been with a woman, so I cannot relate. Like, I'm trying to see what the hype is about. He was like, well, shit, let's have a threesome. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, even still, like, even if we did, like, who would we have a threesome with? He was like, we can have the threesome with my baby mama because she's gonna do what the fuck I tell her to do. I'm like, okay, let's see what she say. So surely enough, she comes over, you know, we all gets tipsy and we have a threesome. You know, it's at this point, we're all friends. You know, I'm cool with her. She's cool with me. He's cool with her, blah, 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 blah. We're one big happy family. So, you know, we cool, you know, time goes by, you know, I'm helping them raise a baby or whatever the case be. Business is good. So now I partners up with my friend to open a store in the mall. I have this big grand opening. This is the biggest thing in the city. So at this time, this is tax time. So he done filed his taxes and got all this money. So he done went and bought me some clothes and some shoes. He done bought me a new iPad for my store. You know, he went to the jewelry store and bought me this ring. So he comes to the store and proposes to me in front of everybody. So, you know me, I'm like, I do. So at this point, we're engaged. Like, this is my whole fiance at this point. So, you know, time passes and he introduces me to his girl cousin and her girlfriend. You know, and we all cool, you know what I'm saying? We low key, we don't really have too many friends. So these is like our day one. So, you know, they would come back to the house, you know, we would all chill, we would all hang out, they'd come to the store, we would all be cool. So one day I just noticed her checking him out and I pulled him to the side. I'm just like, do you see what I see? Like, I know I'm not crazy. He was like, I don't even be paying attention. And even if she was, like, she's not even my type, like ill gross. Like, I would never. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, you know, we ain't got to worry about that anyways. So I just kept my eyes open on her. So one day, you know, the guy that I was pouring in the store with, he pulls me to the side. He's telling me, he was like, listen, he was like, your fiance keeps carrying this gun. Mind you, he bought him a gun when he got his taxes. He's like, he keeps carrying this gun around. He's like, and if I catch him carrying it again, like, I'm gonna have to kick you guys out. So I was like, okay. So I pulled him to the side and I'm just like, listen, you cannot carry the gun at her. You know, he's not listening to what I'm saying. He was like, okay, and still doing it. So I was like, okay, you don't want to listen. I'm going to take the gun myself and I'm going to take it and leave it at home. So I done took the gun. He was like, where the fuck, you know, where the fuck is my gun? And I'm like, I took it. He was like, give me my shit back. I was like, no. So at this point, we're arguing over this little bitty petty ass gun because I don't took it because he's not supposed to have it in the mall. So he was like, okay, bet. So he done took all of my clothes in the store, threw them outside in the mall, make this big scene like we was just fighting. So I'm just like, you are wilding. So at this point, I'm trying to keep professional. Like, what are you doing? He goes outside to my car, rips the bumper off my car, and just does it up. So I'm like, at this point, like, bitch, like, we arguing, cussing, whatever the case be. So he done called the girl cousin. He's like, cuz, come get me. She comes and picks him up. I done gave him some time to cool off. I calls later that night and the cousin goes to work. So he's over there with the cousin's girlfriend. So I calls her. I'm like, what's going on? She was like, you know, he don't want to talk right now and blase. So I'm like, okay, he don't want to talk. Okay, cool. So later that night, you know, she's in her car and I'm FaceTiming her and I'm like, so what's going on? Like, tell me about what he's talking about. So she's talking to me on the FaceTime in the car. And mind you, I'm seeing somebody in the passenger seat. I'm like, was that him in the passenger seat? She hurries up and hangs up the phone. Calling her back. No answer. So about a couple of hours later, you know what I'm saying? First of all, by this time I done pulled up. I'm like, where are y'all at? So a couple hours later, she still ain't answering. They calls me back. She was like, oh, my phone went dead. Okay, whatever the case be. So she was like, he's ready to talk. So we talking and we makes up, we goes back home. Cool. Next day we goes to the store. So we gets to the store. My partner's at the store. He was like, listen, y'all gotta go. Like, I'm sorry. Like, y'all made a big scene and it's over. Mind you, I'm heartbroken. Like, they just told me that I have to leave this fucking mall. So I'm looking for him, like, to tell him the news, like this is what the fuck just happened. Like, it's over. He's on the phone arguing with somebody. I'm like, who, like, at this point, who the fuck are you arguing with? He was like, this bitch. So I'm like, the bitch he's talking about is the cousin's girlfriend. And I'm like, what could y'all even be arguing about? Like what the fuck is up? So, mind you, they're arguing. We gets home and I ain't even worried about that. I'm just distraught. I just lost my damn store. So I gets home. We trying to pack the stuff, get the U-Haul and all this and that. And I'm crying and he comes to me. He was like, listen, I know that you said, he was like, I don't want to put no more pressure on you. He was like, but I got to tell you something. And I know it's going to break your heart, but I have to tell you. Like, what the fuck else could you fucking tell me? And I'm already having the fucking worst day of my fucking life. Go to part 5. So this is part 5 of why the fuck did I stay? So recap of part 4. I done got home. I'm distraught. I done lost the store. He's telling me that I gotta tell you something. So I was like, what's up? He was telling me, he was like, you was right. The cousin's girlfriend, she was trying to come on to me. She did want to have sex with me when I was over there and we got into it. She was trying to have sex with me and I told her no, which is why she's mad. You know what I'm saying? That's why you caught us arguing and everything. So I was like, oh, makes sense. So I'm already on 10. I'm like, I'm ready to go to her. I'm ready to, cuss her ass out. He was like, no, don't do that because, my cousin's involved. I don't want to get in their mix and their drama. And I'm trying to keep down confusion. I don't want to mess up their relationship. So I was like, okay, cool. But just know, I got my eyes on her. Okay. So Time goes past, and around this time his birthday is coming up. So he told me he had never had a birthday. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it the fuck up for your birthday. Like, I'm gonna show you that I am that man. Like, you just proposed to me, so I'm, so I don't throw him this big old lavish birthday party. Everybody shows up, including the cousin and the cousin's girlfriend. So everybody's bringing their little gifts. The cousin's girlfriend, she decides to get this big old nice gift wrap, and just did it the fuck up. Mind you, the gift was a brand new Apple Watch. So at this time, I'm confused because she's barely got 2 pennies to rub together. So how the fuck did she afford to buy this man an Apple Watch? So I'm like, I'm confused. Like, are you fucking him? Or am I fucking him? Like, what the fuck? Bitch, why are you buying him an Apple Watch? So I felt some type of way, but mind you, I didn't say nothing. She still don't know that I know that she tried to come on to him. Cool. So, party's over. We goes home. Time goes on. A couple days later, his phone is blowing up. I'm like, who the fuck keeps calling your phone? He was like, it's this bitch. So I was like, answer the fucking phone. So she gets on the phone. She's talking her shit. So I gets on the phone. I'm like, look, bitch, like, don't keep calling his motherfucking phone. She was like, oh, you don't know. No, bitch, know what? Like, you thought I didn't know? Like, I did know, because guess what? He told me. So she was like, oh, no, you don't know. You don't know. So she done got back on the phone with him and was like, if you don't tell him, I'ma tell him. So I'm like, tell me what? Like, didn't you already tell me that she tried to come on to you? And she was like, oh, no, it's more, sweetie. It's more. Hangs up. I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? He was like, listen, calm down. Because at this point, I'm jacked the fuck up. I'm like, what the fuck? So he was like, calm down. He was like, when I was when we was he was stumbling. So I'm like, bitch, spit it out. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? He was like, well, we fucked in her car. Bitch, motherfucking bitch. When I tell you, bitch, he was every motherfucking bitch in the book. Get your shit, get the fuck out. Like, bitch, you really just sit up here and played in my motherfucking face. Had this bitch, spent all this money for this fucking party. This bitch done came, like, I ain't never ever been this mad. This is the first time I blew the fuck. Bitch, get the fuck out. So he done called his mama and, went over to mama's house. I'm like, bitch, I'm done. Fuck you, fuck her, fuck the cousin, fuck all y'all. Like, bitch, I'm good. Bitch, and I just lost my store. I'm good. Bye. So that was it. So I'll tell y'all what happened in part 6. So this is part 6 of why the fuck did I stay? So at this point, like, bitch, you got me fucked up. Like, you playing in my motherfucking face. Get the fuck out. I don't give a fuck where you go. So he goes over to the baby mama's house and goes and stay. So a couple days later, I reach back out. We figures it out. We talk. He comes back home. And now we come back home. We just trying to figure out, like, what the fuck is going on. So we both decided that it's time for a vacation. Like, we just need to clear our minds. Like, we just need a vacation. So I had some friends for the store. They was like, they was going to Miami for Rolling Loud and we should come. So I was telling him he was down. So we done packed our stuff, went to fucking Miami for the Rolling Loud. Mind you, we gets to Rolling Loud on the strip. I'm introducing him to the friends. I'm like, this is Bay, like, whatever the case be. And they're like, oh my God, like, we walking the strip. Every motherfucking body thinks that he's a motherfucking celebrity. Everybody's stopping him to take motherfucking pictures. He's telling these people, like, yeah, I'm a rapper, blah, 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 blah. So here we go with this shit. So I'm just letting him have his moment. So he had on all of these chains that I had bought him from Shop Go. So, mind you, we're just having a good time. So we gets back to the house or whatever the case be. And, I'm feeling good at this point. So I'm just like, I'm horny. Like, I want to, let's do what it do. So he was like, nah, I'm not in the mood. Like, I'm having a good time. Like, okay. So he was like, and I'm trying to be respectful of your friends. Like, I don't really want to do that. Like, I'm trying to have, like, my privacy when we do what we do. I'm like, I don't really think that makes sense, but I'm just like, all right, like, I ain't great to really, like, press you about it. Like, I ain't great to press you for no sex. So, the girl that's in the house with us, we in this big old Airbnb, every time we in the house chilling, he's going to her room and they talking. So I'm like, what the fuck you keep going to, like, what is y'all talking about that's so motherfucking important? Like, I'm confused. So every time I go in there, I could kind of like feel like that he's just trying to like front me. Like he's trying to play it off like, that we ain't like how we like. So at this point, he done came back to my room and I'm just like, why are you acting weird? Like, what do you want? Fuck this bitch? He bloops out. What the fuck? You tripping? Why the fuck would you ask me that? Like, I'm trying to have a fucking good time. You ruining my motherfucking time.
We arguing in the motherfucking house. Everybody's just like, what's going on? Like, you know, like, we good. Like, we good. Like, we good. So we goes to sleep, wakes up in the morning so we can go to Rolling Loud. So we gets up. Tensions is still high. Like, I still got a motherfucking attitude because last night you had me fucked up. Like, the way you talking, like, you got me fucked up. So I ain't really saying, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to enjoy myself. I'm going to have a good time. We get to the Rolling Loud. I'm walking. He speeds up and starts walking with the girl. They're working side by side. You would have damn near fucking been holding hands. So I'm like, I'm confused. Like, did you come with her or did you come with me? Like, I'm confused. So one of the guy friends that we with, I'm looking at him and he's looking at me. We scratching our heads like, what is this? So, you know me, I walks up to them. You know me, and I'm in my playful voice. I'm like, sweetie, he's mine. It's like, come with me. So he's like, what are you doing? Bitch, what do you mean? What am I doing? Like, what do you want to fuck this bitch? Like, I'm confused. Like, what are you doing? So he's like, you tripping, just goes off again. Mind you, it is thousands of people out here at this motherfucking Rolling Loud. So he's like, you tripping, you doing all this motherfucking bullshit. You mad because I didn't have sex with you. Putting our business on fucking on Front Street. I'm pissed. I'm like, you know what? Bitch, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not reduced with you. So I walks out. So he catches back up with me, snatches me, grabs my fucking arm. I'm like, bruh, get the fuck off me. So he was like, nigga, fuck you. Mug me into the earth, into the motherfucking street. And so, mind you, I'm embarrassed as fuck. I'm like, you are really like fucking embarrassing me. Like, what the fuck are you on? So they like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Y'all can go to the fucking Rolling Loud. I don't even want to fucking go no more. Like, he got me fucked up. So he done went with the little girl and one of the other guy friends, and they done went around the fucking Rolling Loud and left me. So the other guy, he stays with me. He's just trying to make sure I'm okay. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm pissed off. Like, he's got me fucked up. So, mind you, we goes, they're enjoying one part of the concert and we're enjoying another part of the concert. He's trying to contact them. Nobody has service, so we can't call one another. So we just have to see him when we see him. So eventually, probably like an hour later, we seen him and catches back up with them. So I sees him, he sees me. I'm like, we need to talk. So we goes over to the side and he was like, look, I apologize. I'm sorry. Like, I overreacted. Like, I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just really just trying to have a good time. Like, can we deal with this later? I go to I again. I'm like, yes. I'm like, let's have a good time. Like, these are my friends. Like, I'm really, like, first impression is the best impression. Like, this is fucking terrible. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we gets home. We goes to sleep. Next day, you know, it's time to go home. So we get in the rental car. We're headed to the airport. And I'm just like, okay, now that nobody's around, this is the perfect time to talk. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why did you front me in front of this bitch? Like, did you want to fuck this bitch? Like, why didn't you want to have sex with me? Like, I need to know. He's like, look, I don't want to talk about this right now. I'm just trying to get home. No, bitch, you're gonna motherfucking talk about it. Like, we're gonna talk about it. He's like, oh, there you go. You gonna make me talk you with control and shit. I'm like, okay, so now I'm controlling. Like, because I'm trying to get you to have a conversation with me about why the fuck you just did what the fuck you just did. Like, what the fuck? So I'm already pissed off because I really want my ones because you done mugged me in the motherfucking street. So I'm like, bitch, if you don't like, bitch, we're not going home no motherfucking way. We will stay in Miami until the motherfucking fuck you talk. So he's like, nigga, you got me fucked up. So I'm like, you got me fucked up. At this point, I'm like, bitch, what you want, fight? So I pulls over. I'm like, get the fuck out. Like, what's up? He gets out. We squares up. We start fighting. In the midst of us fighting, his shoulder popped out of place. So he's like, ah. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's just stop. We gets back in the car. I'm scarred up. He's scarred up. We gets to the motherfucking airport to leave. In the midst of us being in the motherfucking airport, I'm just looking at him with attitude. He's looking at me with attitude. And out of nowhere, we just fucking bust out laughing when we made eye contact. I'm just like, how the fuck? Like, I'm like, here I go with my dumb ass again. I'm like, yeah, I love you. I was like, because I done beat your ass. And here I am laughing like this shit's okay. So I was like, now we're toxic. I said, this is some fucking toxic shit. So next part, I'll tell you what happened when the motherfucking fuck we gets home. So this is part 7, just to basically like an intermission, just to catch up of the timeline of things and when things is happening. So I met him, like I said, May 6th. This is during COVID of 2020. Speed it up. His daughter was born June 23rd of 2020. So around this time, you know, there's a whole gap for like the rest of that year. So like at this time, me and him, we just really just enjoying our time together. You know, we with the baby mama. At this point, I'm helping him raise the baby. So we back and forth over the baby mamas. He's back and forth over our house. You know, we spending time with his family. You know, his family wants to be involved. So we're spending holidays and Thanksgiving and all of this crazy crap. He done met my family. You know what I'm saying? Just your average, nothing too crazy, nothing exciting. So speed it up. The next year of 2021 is when I opened the store. So, you know, speed it up some more. I lost the store. Let me see. What was this? I would say May. So this is probably like around May when we was in the summertime. So May, we had got into it really, really, really bad. I lost the store. And then come June, July was his, you know, when I found out about the little girl, his birthday was July the 1st. So that's when we had the big old birthday party for July 1st. You know, we had made up. Rolling Loud was later that month in July. So it was like the end of July. So that's where we're at now. So at this point, we had been together for a year and a half-ish. And this is where we at. We in motherfucking July of all of this shit that's going on. And mind you, so the time that me and him has been together, you know, we don't have Christmas. He done had his first birthday, which I didn't talk about. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of stuff that has been going on. Like, I've been working, like, we've been bossing the fuck up. Mind you, we don't even move from one apartment to the next apartment. Like, the money's coming in. So, you know, at this point, he's getting this money. I'm buying him. I'm splurging on him. He's getting whatever the fuck he wants at this motherfucking point. And he's starting to feel his motherfucking self. So he's starting to look good at this time. You know what I'm saying? I done got him fly. You know, he done got his hair done. You know, he's in everything designer. Like at this point, we both in designer. So the whole city is knowing about us, and you know, they hip to us, and like we like the next big thing of Louisville, Kentucky. Like everybody knows us. Like we on the clothing line. We don't went to Instagram. Everybody knows us on Instagram. Like we LGBTQ popular. Everything is going on. So we don't even went to Pride I think at one point of time. Like, you know, all the gays in Atlanta was like, oh my gosh, like y'all this thing, like y'all cute, blase, 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 y'all together, all of this crazy crap. So, you know, he's the bomb.com. We've been going to the gym. His body done got back right. And, so at this point, I just feel like that he just been wild and just like, I can't tell him shit. So at this point, we done got into it. He's starting to call me controlling. You know what I'm saying? We having issues, you know, about when I want sex, he's trying to pick and choose when the fuck he wants to have sex and all this and that, but it ain't got bad yet. Later down the line, we're gonna get into like how bad the trying to have sex done got. So, you know what I'm saying? So we're constantly going to parties, like in our city. Like we go to parties every motherfucking weekend. Like I don't even like to party. So, you know, to go show my face, you know what I'm saying? He convinced me to go to all these parties. We're going to all these parties. Like we're just stars at this point. So he done got a little clout behind his name. He done built up his social media, got a little followers, manager, just still in a 1.5 year time frame. And that's that. So in part A, I'm just going to basically pick up where I left off, you know, when we left from Miami. And this is still the end of July of 2021. And we got all the way to motherfucking 2024, which is today to go. So enjoy the ride. So this is part A of why the fuck did I stay? So recap, you know, we don't get back from Miami. We done got into this big fight. You know what I'm saying? We done made up, laughed it off. So we gets back home. You know what I'm saying? He done got all his anger out. I done got all my anger out. It ain't nothing but good vibes. So now we don't have makeup sex. I'm just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Show me that this is really what you want. Like, show me, you know what I'm saying? Do me like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling like I'm feeling, whatever the case be. Mind you, so we don't move into this new apartment. You know what I'm saying? Life is lifing at this point. I'm not on this old apartment where I got Section 8. I have to pay these real bills. So I'm telling him, I'm like, you know, you got to step up to the plate. Like, you're going to have to get a job or do something to pitch in. He was like, cool, I'm going to give him a job. He gets him a job. at Spectrum. So mind you, this is a good job. So I'm like, congratulations. Like, I'm so proud of him. I'm like, baby, like you did it. Like, you done got this job. Like, this is good. So he's excited. I'm excited. So mind you, I'm taking him to the work. I'm taking him to the job. He has to be at work at 8 a.m. every single morning. So every morning that I'm taking him to work, he has this little team meeting thing that they do before they go to the work site. And it's like 30 minutes long. So every morning when I'm taking him to work, I have to stay in the parking lot for 30 minutes until he gets done with the meeting. And then I have to take him to work. So mind you, all his little coworkers, they kind of like uppity or whatever the case be. Everybody has to wear suits and shit to the job. So, you know what I'm saying? He done to introduce me to everybody the first time. He comes outside. He's like, oh my God, y'all, this is my fiance I was telling you guys about. You know, we're rich. You know, we have this clothing line. You know what I'm saying? He's just, you know, just bragging it up at this point. So I'm like, yeah, like, hey guys. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like to be put on the spot. So they looking, they like, oh, this, you know, this nigga, he probably really do got some money because I pulled up in a 2019 Lexus GS 350. Everybody else was driving hoopties. So they like, oh, like they really doing. He's like, I really don't need this job. You know, I'm just working here, just, you know, to whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. So imagine I'm meeting all the coworkers, and one of his coworkers is this little girl. You know, she's cute, nice body. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, yeah. See, this bitch gonna be a problem. I already know that this bitch gonna be a problem, but I'm just like, whatever. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we're trying to focus on work. So, mind you, every day he's going to work. So I'm noticing like that when they get paired up, like he's getting paired up with this girl. So they're going to the work sites together and working all day. So imagine if he gets to work at 8 o'clock and he doesn't get off till 7 at night, that means that he's with this girl all damn day. They're spending time doing God knows what, getting to know each other at work. So, you know, from time to time, me and him would talk on the phone during the day. You know what I'm saying? He would tell I'm working. I got to get off the phone. I'm like, okay, cool. I would pop up on him sometimes and bring him food. Mind you, I had his location, so I'm always checking the location. He's always at work. I'm like, okay, you know, he's doing what he's supposed to do. So one day I was pulling up to his job to bring him some food. I get in the parking lot. It was like an hour or 30 minutes before he had got off work. He's in the motherfucking car with the little girl. They just sitting in the car. I'm on the other side of the parking lot. I'm watching at this point. Mind you. So I'm like, okay. So I calls his phone. He's ignoring the phone calls. I am literally watching this nigga ignore my fucking phone calls. So I'm like, I'm not going to do it all this at his job. So I politely drives over there and I pulls up and I'm like, hey, you know, he's like, oh, hey, baby, you know, we just sitting here talking, you know, job has been good. We done did all our work for the day. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you didn't see me call? He's like, I wasn't even checking my phone. Bitch, you lying. But I'm just like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not going to make a scene. So I'm like, well, I brought you some food. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, no, I already ate. She bought me some food. Bet. So she's buying you food now. Okay, cool. Don't worry about it. So, you know, time goes on. I didn't even think about it. A few mornings had passed. So I woke up one morning. I was like, look, I'm getting up every morning. Like, I'm trying to, F-U-C-K. I don't really want to say it. So he was like, I'm not in the mood right now. Like, I ain't even focused on that right now. I'm focused on my job. You know, I've been working. I'm tired. Like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, look, it's been about a week. Like, I'm sexually frustrated. Like, there's no way. Like, we fuck almost every day. Like, there's like, what's up? So he was like, look, I don't want to talk about this right now. I got to get to work. I'm like, so it's just basically like, fuck what I'm talking about. I was like, you making excuses at this point. I'm like, you see me. I was like, I can have anybody I want. So why are you sitting up here trying to do all this? He's like, well, go fuck whoever you trying to go fuck. All right, bitch. Don't worry about it. Keep that motherfucking same energy. And plus on top of that, don't ask me to take you to work. Bitch, you found your own motherfucking way to work. He was like, okay, cool. He walks out the motherfucking door. Somebody takes him to work. Later that day, so in my mind, I think about it and I'm just like, I feel bad. So I calls him. I'm like, hey, I apologize for the way I acted earlier. Like, it was stupid for us to be arguing over some fucking sex. And he was like, yeah, I agree. And I apologize too for the way I went about it. And he was like, I heard what you're saying about the sex. He was like, so when I get home, we can make it up and, I'll make it up to you and give you some. Cool. So I'm like, all right. So I'm feeling my way. So I'm like, well, where you at now? He was like, I'm at the bar with my team. You know, we celebrating or whatever the case be at this bar. So he was like, I'll be home and I'll call you when I'm on my way home. I'm like, all right, cool. So mind you, this is at nighttime, probably like 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm waiting at home because I'm like, you know, I'm ready to get, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to get some. So I'm waiting. I'm like, where is he at? So I wasn't trying to blow up his phone. You know what I'm saying? He said he's going to be on his way home. So that's cool. So I'm sitting up waiting on him. I done fell asleep at this point. I'm like, what the fuck? I done woke up out of my sleep. I'm like, where he at? He's still here? I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm calling his phone. He's not answering. I'm texting. Everything's going straight to voicemail. None of the messages I get sent. I'm like, what the fuck is he at? So mind you, I'm trying to track his location because I got his location. He done stop sharing the location. I'm like, okay, bitch. Like, now you're playing like, where the fuck you at? You supposed to have been home. Like, where are you at? It's 3 o'clock in the morning at this point. So I'm thinking. I was like, think, bitch, think. We was in Miami. When we was looking for him, he gave the location to one of our friends. And I was looking on his phone one day and I was mapping it. I was like, why he still got this man's location? So I didn't even think nothing of it. Bingo. I got dude's number on my phone. So I called him. I was like, listen, I was like, Val, he done lost his phone. I done made up something. I was like, we trying to find his phone. I was like, do you think you can help me and him, you know, can you help track it? He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I do got his location. Yeah. He's his phone is up the street at Taco Bell. Huh? Taco Bell? I thought you was at the bar. Cool. Say less. I hangs up. I done jumped out of the house. I'm in a road. I done got in my car. I done drove up to Taco Bell. Soon as I get to Taco Bell, I'm like, where the fuck is he at? No cars in the parking lot but one. Guess whose car it is? The fucking bitch from the work. So I'm like, oh, so I pulls on up. They're in the motherfucking car undressing each other, kissing. So they're about to fuck at this point. Snap, takes a picture, plus bitch, fuck all this. Bitch, I'm ready to beat your motherfucking ass because, bitch, you don't play with me for the last time. So he's like, oh, no, baby, I'm sorry. It's not what you think it is. Bop. So at this point, I'm trying to beat his ass. I don't tackle him. He's running from me. He's like, it's over. He's like, I'm sorry. And like all this, I'm like, I'm distraught. I don't know what to motherfucking think. So he's trying to run. I said, oh, so you trying to run this? My ass done got big. So I done got in my car. I done try to run this man over. I'm furious. Like, I'm like, bitch, you done for today. Like, you are done. So the girl's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, bitch, fuck you, because bitch, you two-faced. Like, you knew what the fuck was going on. And you sitting there playing in my motherfucking face and you really trying to mess with my man behind my back and you got a nigga. I'm confused. So I said, fuck it. I done get back home. I done took the pictures that I done took to them and they got a work group chat. I done posted it in the work group chat and I'm just like, yeah, you're going to lose your job today too on top of that. So he was trying to delete it. When I was fighting him, he broke his phone. So even if he was trying to delete it, the phone, he couldn't even get back in the phone to do it because the screen was messing up by this time. So I'm running out of time. So I'm ready to speed this up. So we gets back home. I said, oh, she drops him off. I'm pissed off about that too. So I'm like, oh, you want to work this out? We're going to do shit my motherfucking way. And you're going to do what I say now. So now, go to I again. Go to the next part. Go to part 9. So this is part 9 of why the fuck did I stay? So recap of part 8. I done caught him in the parking lot with this girl. We done got home. I done fought him. You know, now I'm telling him, I'm like, you know what? You want to stay with me? Like, you're going to do shit my way. So he's coming in the house. He's like, you know, I'm sorry. Like, I would do anything. You know, I don't want you to leave me, blah, 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 blah. So like, he's begging me at this point. Like, this is, you know, I'm like, bitch, you really did it the fuck up. So he was like, I'll do anything. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to do things my motherfucking way. So he was like, okay, cool. Anything. I was like, okay, cool. All right, bet. So next day, you know what I'm saying, he tries to go back to work. He goes to work. They're like, he's fired. So he done lost the motherfucking job. So he's like, damn. And I'm just like, well, that's what the fuck you get, because you shouldn't have been trying to do what you was trying to do. So he's whatever. I'm like, I didn't really give a fuck. I'm still kind of like upset at this point. Like I'm in bitch mode. Like, bitch, I don't give a fuck, because bitch, I really shouldn't even be with you at this point. So mind you, a little time has passed, you know what I'm saying? We just focusing on, he's just trying to be on his P's and Q's at this point. So speed it up a little bit. I done got an opportunity to open up a new store in the mall. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is big. So, you know, he's like, oh my God, like he done got excited too. So we're both excited at this point. I'm like, look, I understand like everything that we done went through. Like, let's just put all this shit behind us. Like, this is to new beginnings. We're going to have our new start. Like, this is it. So he agreed. So we done get to this new store. And I was like, you know, you can work for me. Like, I got a feeling we're going to make all of this money. Mind you, we are doing so good at this store. I opened the store November the 1st. It had been 2 months since this store was open. I done made fucking $300,000 in motherfucking 2 months. So mind you, bitch, we're balling. We're balling better than ever at this motherfucking point. We're balling. So this is the time, you know, the era where we just start, you know, we come to the store every day. We're working. We're making TikToks. Everybody knows about us. Like, we're making a big impact on the motherfucking community. We done got on the motherfucking news that everybody wants to interview us. Like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. Like what y'all doing. Like y'all got this store in the mall. So this is big. So every day, you know, we come to the store, we're working, and I'm just seeing like, he's like really making a change. Like, the sex is fucking incredible. He's treating me right. He's saying all the right things. He's doing everything right. He's helping me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're literally being the man that I want you to be. Finally. Like, I had to go through all this shit to get you to be the fucking man that I wanted you to be. And I just remember thinking, I was like, all this shit was fucking worth it. It was absolutely fucking worth it. So, you know, I'm doing it the fuck up. I don't know if he felt bad or he felt guilty, but like at this point I was like, he really is standing on business of what he said that he was going to do for me. Like, he said he was going to treat me right. So he's buying me gifts, buying me flowers. Like, he's just doing it up, just showing all of these tokens of love of how much he loves me. I'm eating it up. Like, this is all I've ever wanted from you. Mind you. So, speed it up. You know, we done got a whole new group of friends. You know what I'm saying? A couple months had went by. You know what I'm saying? We just bosses, and we're just working, coming to the store every day, having a good time with the new friends we got and everything, and so forth and so forth. So one day, you're never gonna know, this bitch comes in and she's like, oh my gosh, like, y'all so cute. Well, she's trying to flirt with me. I'm not paying no mind. So I was like, you know, this is my dude. So she sees him. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, bitch, girl, go on. Mind you, he's not even paying her no attention. I'm looking at him. I'm like, you bet not. Like, we don't already fucking been through this. So he's really not paying her no attention. So I'm like, okay. So he goes on about it. So one day I had to go out of town for, I think, like a day or two or whatever the case be. So he was like, I'll run the store for you, baby. Like, you good. So, you know, he's running the store. I'm out of town. The same bitch is back in the store. She's behind the motherfucking counter. She's all breathing down his motherfucking neck, talking to him. She's there all motherfucking day. Mind you, I have cameras in the store, so I'm out of town and I'm viewing the cameras. I'm seeing all this. So I'm texting him like, why the fuck is this bitch in my goddamn store? Like, tell this bitch to leave. So he was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. She's just being a bother. Like, she won't leave me alone. I don't know what to do. So I'm like, all right, cool. Just play it cool. Cause mind you, I'm the eagle's eye. I can see everything. So he was like, okay, cool. So I guess back in town or whatever the case be, you know, and I just noticed all of a sudden he's like, you know, oh, I'm bored in the store. I'm ready to go walk around the mall. So I'm like, okay, so you're going to walk around the mall. So every day he's just walking around the mall. So one day, I'm like, where the fuck is he at? So I'm trying to call him and I can't call him because he's wasn't answering the phone. So I'm just like, okay, look. I'm like, okay, look. Like, where the fuck are you at? He comes back to the store and been gone all this time. And mind you, this is this girl that worked for me. So she's working for me and she's my friend. She was like, hey, you know the girl, we don't gave the girl the name. Like, we don't gave her this crazy name because we always laugh about it because she's irritating. So she was like, I seen him and her at, you know, in the food court talking. I'm like, oh, so you was. So you know me, I'm not gonna hold a motherfucking sweat. So I'm asking him, Come here. So when you going, like, what the fuck are you talking to this bitch? Like, what the fuck? He was like, yes, I've been talking to her. He was like, she got my number. I gave her my number and she won't leave me alone. So I'm like, okay, well, cut it. We're cutting, just cut the bullshit. Cut the bitch off. So mind you, just first of all, remember this girl. Do not forget this girl from the mall that kept coming in. Don't forget her, because she's going to play a very, very important part, and I'm going to tell you all about her. So just speed it up a little bit. I done booked me and him a flight and a trip to go to Cancun, Mexico. So I just go to the next part 10, and then I will tell you about our trip in Mexico. It gets interesting. So this is part 10 of why the fuck did I stay? So, you know what I'm saying? We're ready to go to Cancun. You know, we get there. So I'm like, oh my God. So this is new. Like, me and him had never been out of the country. You know what I'm saying? This was just nice. Like, it was every fucking thing. As soon as I got over to fucking Mexico, I just felt the vibe. So, you know, we get there. I'm introducing him to my friends. Mind you, these are my, like, upper echelon friends. So everybody's, like, got something going for themselves. You know, they got big names in the world, or whatever the case be. So everybody's introducing themselves. You know, he's introducing himself. You know, he's telling them, I'm a rapper, and, you know what I'm saying, me and my nigga, we got this clothing line. It's both of ours. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, so mind you, he was like, yeah, this is all this I pay. You know, I pay for all this. You know, I got real VVS, you know, talking about the chains and all this and stuff. So, man, I don't know if he didn't know that my friends know, like, they're caught up on game. They're like, oh, okay, like, we know, like, who the real, you know, it's okay, you don't have to do all that. So, mind you, you know what I'm saying, you know, everybody's getting to know one another, so they don't all gather in the living room. They having, like, this little game night or whatever the fuck case. And, mind you, they was making a joke about his print, because his print was so noticeable that everybody was seeing it. So they was like, you know what I'm saying, what you into? Somebody asked a question as to how it got up to him saying, like, I'm not really gay. I'm straight. I really fuck bitches, and I'm only with him. That's the only man that I fuck, or something like that. He's like, I'm really not gay. I just only fuck him. That was the thing. So somebody brought it to my attention and was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's clearly making his print noticeable. And she was like, and I just feel like what he said about the, you know, the fucking bitches and really only fuck you. She's like, I feel like that was just, like, so inappropriate. And I'm just like, okay, like, I get it. Like, just let it go. Like, I'm trying to have a good time. Like, I'm making excuses for him. Like, you know, just please, you know. So they're like, okay, cool. So I'm still keeping it cool. You know, that day we had all went to the excursions. We done had fun, like, the time of our lives. Like, it was beautiful. This is the best time I've ever had in my life. Imagine when I went to Cancun, Mexico. So, you know, we comes back, you know, have a good time. That morning we wake up and, you know what I'm saying, we both had decided to have sex. So we done had sex, and I was just like, I just remember I was just like, baby, like, what's up? Like, the sex was boring. He's like, what? I'm like, the sex, like, it was kind of boring. He's like, nigga, what the fuck? What are you on? You talking about sex boring? Like, nigga, faggot ass bitch. I'm talking about I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where's all of this coming from? He's like, oh, you don't want to go fuck somebody else? How the fuck you bring me here? I'm talking about, it's all this. So I'm just like, calm down. Like, be quiet. Like, please don't do this. Please, like my friend said, don't embarrass me like that. I don't give a fuck. Fuck, you shouldn't have fucking brought me. So he done walked through the motherfucking house and walked outside and, like, really doing it the fuck up. So I'm like, oh my God. Like, I am so embarrassed. Like, I done barricaded myself in the fucking room because I'm like, I don't even want nobody to see me. So one of the dudes had, took him on a ride to help him cool down. So they all, you know, I'm sitting in my room, I'm like pissed off. So they all come in my room, you know, and they had like an intervention with me. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? They all hovered around me. They was like, listen, friend, don't get mad. But they was like, you deserve. They was just telling me, they was like, you deserve so much better. And they was like, this man is using you and you need to see it. And I just remember, like, it was so hurtful. Because I really love this man. And all of my friends, the people that I looked up to, had to fucking pull me to the side and have an intervention with me and tell me that the fucking relationship that I'm in is no good for me. And I'm so glad that I can't see it. At this point, I'm crying and I'm crying and I'm crying. And I at this point, like, I'm feeling like how I feel now. I'm reliving the shit. So I called my mama, and my mama's called, like, as soon as I get on the phone, I haven't even told my mama what is going on, and she's crying. And I'm like, Mama, what's wrong? She was like, God told me that you was calling me and you was in need and you was hurting. And she said, as you was calling me, I was calling you. This shit is real. And I knew that God was trying to tell me to leave this fucking situation. Through my friends and through my mama, it was the most hurtful thing. Because why? When I love this man. Why? Like, why? And it's just fucking too much. And they was all sitting there and they was just telling me, they was like, friend, you deserve so much. They was like, he's not the guy for you. And they was like, we know you. We know that you want so bad to be loved. We know that you are Melvante. We know that you have made all of this money. You did everything that you needed to do. You do not need him. Listen. And I'm trying. My mind is trying to process it. I'm trying. And I'm like, it's not like, I still don't believe it. I'm like, this is my man. This is my man. So after this, we fucking just goes over. It was just terrible. I was ready to go home. I don't even want to talk about that. So I got on the fucking plane and we fucking went home. And I would tell y'all the next part.